Hey guys, this is James here from jamesygood.com. I hope you're good. I've had a few questions on the bass I've been using for all these videos that you've seen. A few of you guys are wondering what it is, so I thought I'd make a quick video and just explain that one. Okay, this here is my main axe. I've been using it probably for about 4 years pretty constantly now. Before that I was like an avid 5-string guy, but something happened and I changed to 4, and quite frankly I love it. This is a Sadowsky Metro line, so it is made in Japan. Okay, it's not one of the American jobs, but I think this is great. It works really nicely. It's beautifully made. It's a Sadowsky RV4-HPJ. That's the model number of the bass. I'm just going to talk you through it, give you a little demo so you can see why I like it, why I use it. It is basically a Fender Precision body, as you'll see, classic sort of shape there. Okay, with a Fender Precision pickup there and a jazz pickup there. So that's your classic PJ configuration there. The neck here is like a jazz bass. So as you can see, it's a real hybrid of a Fender Jazz and a Fender Precision. So it's got a nice slim neck here with the classic Fender Precision body. I went for a rosewood fingerboard here, and we have the classic Sadowsky preamp here with a vintage tone control. I'm going to take you through and just show you some of this stuff. It's a really versatile bass. Most of the time I tend to actually just use it with both pickups in the middle blended like this, so you get so that's the kind of sound you get from that, but it's got a great precision sound which I've used quite a bit. So okay, get it the right way. So that real sort of clanky Fender Precision kind of sound, which I really like. Okay, and then if you actually added the vintage tone control to that, so you're actually just rolling off the top end, you can kind of get that nice sort of 60s kind of Fender sound. Okay, then if we go back up here and take it over to the jazz pickup. Okay, okay, you can get that kind of more, I guess, jazz fusion, Jaco Pastores, for one of a better sound, for a comparison. There's a huge versatility of sounds in this one. So I'll take it back to the middle. It has bass control and treble control here. A lot of the gigs I do are on in-ear monitors, so whilst most of the time I have it off, sometimes sound guys like to have the actual amp on stage. Sometimes there isn't even an amp as well. They like to have it really low, so I just use that to dial in a bit of bottom end to fatten it out in the in-ear monitors, which for me works really well. But by and large, I just keep everything I do pretty flat from an EQ point of view. The bass is 100% stock. I've only changed one detail on this bass, and that is I've added a Hipshot, you'll see there, D extender, so I can take this down to a bottom D, so which I use quite a bit. It just adds a bit of welly in sometimes. I first discovered these when I was covering on the show We Will Rock You in London, and some of the lines that John Deacon used to do were using that, and I just found it had this incredible sound to it which you just couldn't get with a 5-string bass. Let me explain. It just has, I think it's because the strings just flying around a lot, so so you can sort of and that fat bottom girl sound. So you can see, for me, it just has a totally different flavour. I use it quite a bit, so if I want to groove down on the bottom end. So that is my main axe. The one other thing, just piece of advice I'd give you, this bass is actually, I find, is quite middly. It's got a lot of punch to it, okay, which I find really helpful. When you go to a music shop, you often hear lots of great basses, and they sound fantastic because they've got lots of bottom and lots of top end, and this big scoops out middle, and some of the amps, the manufacturers, amps and speakers do this as well, and it sounds amazing. And so many times over the years I've got those on gigs and I just can't hear what's going on. And the biggest tip I'd say to you is pay attention to the mids, because they're the actual thing which means you can hear the notes on the gig. If you've got too much mid in your sound, you can always cut it. It's much harder to put it back in effectively, I find, and make it sound natural. So that's one of the reasons I like this bass, just because it's just really has a really great punchy sound to it. I hope that's helpful to you and explains a little bit more about this bass that you'll see me play on these videos. Any questions? Always happy to answer them. Cheers, many thanks. I've been James from jameseager.com. Cheers, bye bye. Funk you up.